So the last video I said I was gonna have to run like 27K or something like that. That was a lie. I've come to the conclusion that I can't count because I think I'm like 2 weeks off of where I actually should be, like in the chart. Not great, but we're gonna figure this out. So last week was only 10 miles, which was like 16K. I find ever so often you get this like you're in the mode for running and then you're good, but for some reason, new water pack, gummy bears, everything, I felt like I just wanted to give up the entire time. And this is like a pretty short run comparative to like the other ones. And I'm just like, I don't want to do this. I just want to go home. I'm tired. My legs were done. I don't know what it was. It's just one of those days. I think I was up a little late. I had a late dinner. It was like I ate at like 9. I think my whole body was off. Trying to treat this body like a temple, throw it off a little bit. All of a sudden, I can't perform at all the next day. So I don't know if that's just age or I've been treating myself so well lately. I don't know. Who knows? Oh yeah. So after the run, then my wife and I went downtown and we stopped by my buddy Darren's like art crawl. So he's like a part of this like community called on Geary Street downtown, like near like DuPont. And he hosts this this like art crawl. So he has one in the summer and then they put one on for the winter time, and it was like super cool. And at the end of the day, my only thing about this is support your day and friends. Go out and support your friends. Listen, it's hard enough out here just existing and doing like regular activities. So go out. If your friend's hosting an event or doing a party or selling something or whatever, go support them. Go and show some love because it's hard out here, man. So like this guy works so hard. This guy is constantly putting on events for like other people, supporting artists. Like he has a gallery and he has like a studio all together to like, help the whole art community. And it's just like super cool and super just like amazing to be a part of and inspiring. So go out, support your homies because it's like super necessary. So do that. Okay. Monday. All right, so I had the day off, family day, spent it with my family, aka my wife. So it's another vintage story, but we found this place out in Waterloo. I didn't get the sign of the place. I just got a bunch of stuff on the inside, but it was cool. It was like really, really sweet. It was way bigger than I expected. And let me show you actually what I got. First purchase was a vintage Hulk Hogan glass. Old school, World Wrestling Federation, kept the old name the way it should have been. And good old WWF, classic childhood Hulk Hogan. Shout out to Hulk Hogan. He was probably in my mind because I recently read that he had some like back surgery and he can't feel anything in his legs. That's terrible. So then I thought, how can I give back to the Hulk Hogan? And so I bought a good old glass. It cost me $12.50. Is it worth it? Yes, 100%. 100%. The second purchase, this is what happens when you enjoy vintage shopping and you're in between that area in your life where you have an income. And so you can buy more stuff than you could, obviously, when you're growing up. But you don't have enough to actually buy what you want. So my wife and I have an obsession with like glasses because we can afford them and like other small trinkets. And then every once in a while we find a good deal on something and then we buy it, right? But when we see stuff, so we have a bunch of salt and pepper shakers. I found these. These are 2 like little roses, little flowers. Super cute, pink, super awesome. More vintage shopping. I think that just shows vintage shopping. Like we woke up on Monday, like what are we gonna do? And so we just started looking up vintage shops in malls and stuff close and that were open. And I think that just immediately shows our age and what we're interested in. Immediately. Like there's just like we could have done anything. and we decided to go. We drove an hour. Like, we drove an hour to go to go and find another shop. So I'm glad we did. We're definitely gonna go back. Like, I was always into vintage shopping, and I was always into like going to the thrift store way before, Macklemore ruined it all. Absolutely ruined the industry. Tuesday was a good day. Went and got a haircut. Shout out my boy Tristan. Honestly, after every time I get a haircut by this guy, I feel like I could just be in a centerfold. I feel like I just want to, I want to be on a centerfold, and I also just want to like get into a boxing match because I feel that good. Like, my energy is peaking. So, and like keeping a relationship like that is like super important, just because, yeah, like I can bring my dad and like he knows him. They talk, like they catch up. Like, when I leave, it's like, hey man, like let your dad know I say what up, like hope he's doing well, like all these things. And like that is super important. Like, on top of the fact that obviously that he's like, extremely talented, but just having someone that in your life is just like, it's just key and very underrated, and as a guy, like if you need a barber, like it took me years to find a barber, years. And I when I found my guy, this guy was when I first got my first cut by him, he was an apprentice. Like, he was working that, you know what I mean? And crazy, like that's wild. And now this guy's like doing his thing, and it's sick. And I just get to be friends with this guy and get haircuts by him, like, every couple weeks, and it's a vibe. So if you need a haircut and you want to look good, go to my boy Tristan. He's gonna fix you up, and it's a vibe. So shout out to him. Shout out to Crow's Nest. Yeah, thank you for making me look good. Because I need it. Let's be honest. Wednesday, as everyone knows, was a snow day. So, it's starting to become a snow day, right? But went to the gym during the day, and two things. So first thing is, you start working out, and there's this guy I know from high school. Great dude, like super, super nice, but also super strong. And, so I'm on the leg press machine. He comes and he puts on 145 on each side. You're starting where I'm starting. This is great. So I go with two legs, right? Like a normal person. So I do mine. I look over and he's doing it with one leg. With one leg. I'm like, that's not fair. This sucks. And this guy, I guess when you look at him, he does look like he's twice as strong as me. But it was just one of those extremely humbling moments where I was like, wow, here I am thinking I'm making progress. And whatever, we're all on our own journey here, right? But I was just like, Jesus, how are you so strong? And like, as I'm putting on weight, he's doing the same thing and just going with one leg. And I'm like, all right. I wrapped up a little early. I'm not going to lie. I kind of sped through that workout because I was like, I can't have you over here looking at me while you're doing everything that I'm doing with one leg. Not happening. So don't eat a bunch of baked goodness from a Chinese bakery because you're not going to be able to run at all for a while. And I shouldn't have done that. I knew it when I was eating. I was like, this is not going to be good for when I'm running. But I didn't care because that stuff tastes so good. It's one of those things that, like, gluttony kicks in and you're like, I'm okay with this. Like, I'm okay. I spent $50 at the Chinese bakery. That stuff is like, that is legal crack, because every time I see one, I'm like, yup. And I don't care. My wife's like, you don't need all that. I'm like, yeah, we do. I need it all. She's smart. She knows the limit. She's like, hey, I've got my tray. I'm like, I had a tray, and then I'm like going around. I dropped the tray off at the front, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to grab this banana bread. I'm grabbing this bun. I'm grabbing this and that. She's looking at me like, you idiot. She's like, you don't need all that. I'm like, yeah. Like, I don't care. I know technically I don't, but like technically I do. And I eat it pretty much immediately. We get to the car, we eat it. We eat one in the car and then immediately go home, and I try and consume the rest all at once, because that's when it's best. Fresh. Right out of the box, put it in the microwave for like, 10 to 15. Boom. You eat 6 of those things. And you're fine when you're eating it. You don't feel sick. And you don't feel sick at all. But you can't run after. That's all I know. I try to run. Immediately I started running. I was like, okay, the cramp is kicking in hard. I did like 2K. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go home. I'm going to call it a night. And go and finish the rest of the bakery goods that I bought. So that's what I did. Couldn't run, went home, finished the rest. And that, my friends, is that was my Wednesday. Go support your local Chinese bakery. Thursday is a snow day, which is perfect. So I don't have to go into the office. I can work from home. Fantastic, right? So it's fairly early, but I posted a video about sweating in the wintertime, right? And so a buddy of mine, who's in construction, texts me, and he's like, hey, imagine working outside all day. I'm wearing like 11 layers. And I was like, geez. I was like, dude, I just called my work saying it's too snowy to go outside. And he sends me a photo of him on a construction site downtown Toronto, like at the bottom of a building, and it's just filled with water. That's not me. I can't do that. There's no way. I was like, I'm currently in bed in this guy's downtown Toronto, like at a construction site. I have like a little calluses on my hands from the gym, and that's probably the hardest thing about me. All right. So this guy was at the construction site at 5 a.m. And he's there all day. And I called into work saying the weather was too much. Let that sink in. Okay. And so for a while, I've been wanting to try painting. So during the pandemic, I was doing some art on Procreate for like the first time. I did a lot of drawing a little bit like in my last year of high school, but I never really did it much after that. And so during the pandemic, I started drawing more, just doing like these weird faces and whatnot. And I had a lot of fun doing it. And I was thinking, okay, I want to try and make do this on a canvas, but I have no idea how to paint. Like I zero, history with painting at all. So, but my dad paints. I see like another buddy of mine, Nick Glenn, he's painting, and it's just like this, like they're both doing so like just cool stuff. And I'm like, okay, I want to try. I want to try painting too. I want to try. So I go over to my dad's house like a couple weeks ago, and I went to my dad's house like so many times to pick up canvas and like markers and like paint for like months, and I just don't use any of it because I'm just like so nervous to paint, like, which is just funny. Like no one's gonna know. Who cares if it sucks? But it's always in your head that first time that you want to try something, you're always like so worried about what everyone else is gonna think. It's like no one actually has to see it. I'm an idiot and I'm gonna show you, obviously. But yeah, so anyways, I tried. This is like, I love it. Not the fact I'm not saying I love the piece yet because it's not done. But just the idea of painting was just so like calming. And like I didn't look at my phone. I wasn't worried about music. I wasn't worried about TV. I wasn't worried about anything. I was just like, I'm just going to paint. And I painted for like 5-6 hours, just like straight. And it does kind of teach you to slow down a bit. I mean, like every time you do like a layer of paint, like you got to let it dry, and acrylic usually dries fairly quickly, but still like you can't just, I was trying to just go quickly for so long because I was so used to like Procreate, obviously, which is just digital, and you're just like do, and then you do that with paint and like it doesn't work like that. So I had a lot of fun painting. I'm going to keep on working at this. I had this idea that I wanted to do like a painting a month for like the last like 2 years. This is how long it's taken me to like actually just like do it. So I think I'm gonna try and add this into like a part of like, you know, my weekly or daily thing, and just try and paint more, and I'll just like keep you updated and show you these pieces. But so far so good. Okay, so Friday I just did like a workout, super chill day, helped my dad out with a couple things, and then went grocery shopping with this guy. There's this guy in there, and he just does one of those open coughs, like one of those, this random guy. And you're like, I didn't even have to see him, I just knew he did it. And then he passed the aisle, and I looked at him, and I'm like, yeah, I know that was you. I can just look at you and tell that that's how you cough, and that's disgusting, and you should be put in prison for that type of behavior. That to me, that's no. Close your mouth. Go here. Do whatever. Go inside the jacket. Whatever you need to do. Don't go open mouth. What? Did we not learn anything from the last 3 years? You know what I mean? What are you doing? That's madness to me. And he looked crazy too. No, this guy was with his kids. This guy had two young boys. And you're like, this is how you're teaching your sons? This is what you're doing? That's how you cough in public? That's how you behave? That's how you behave. That's how you go outside in public in front of people and cough? What are you doing at home? You know? Ugh. Not for me. You just want to go over there and slide tackle them studs up when you see something like that. You know, and then just walk away. But anyways, but that's the thing. You can't be violent in public, obviously. You can't be violent anywhere. And you can't cough. That's it. You can't. If I can't slide tackle you like that in public, then you can't cough like that in public. You can't do it. I think if you cough like that in public, you should be fined $50. Straight up. So that's my take. Saturday. Well, today is Saturday. And just going up to the in-laws, super chill. And then tomorrow I have to run 25.75 kilometers. I get to run that tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's gonna suck, man. It's snowing right now, and I gotta run outside like an idiot. So, you know, when you just are not looking forward to the next day, that's me right now. Listen, the camera's almost gonna die. I'm at the end of the video. Just want to say thank you again. If you're watching, I really do appreciate it. Have a great week. Stay out of trouble. See you soon.